6 years of marriage. 6 years of shared memories, laughter, struggles, and what Michael believed was a bond built on trust. He had no reason to doubt his wife, Sophia. To him, she was his anchor, his partner, and the mother of his 6-year-old son, Ethan. But life has a cruel way of unearthing secrets when you least expect them. It was an ordinary afternoon when Michael decided to visit Sophia's sister, Emily, to congratulate her on the birth of her first child. Holding a baby gift in one hand and little Ethan's hand in the other, Michael knocked on her door, his heart warm with joy for Emily's new journey into motherhood. As they chatted, Emily's demeanor shifted. Her voice trembled as she confessed something that shook Michael to his core. "Michael, I don't know how to say this, but I can't keep it inside anymore," Emily whispered, her eyes welling up with tears. 6 years ago, Sophia told me she slept with her best friend after a night of heavy drinking. She said she regretted it deeply, but begged me to never tell you. Michael froze, the room spinning around him. The words struck like a dagger to his heart. He looked at Ethan, playing innocently on the carpet, oblivious to the world-shattering storm that had just erupted. Are you sure?" he managed to stammer, his voice barely audible. Emily nodded, her guilt apparent. "I couldn't keep lying to you, Michael, especially after seeing how much you adore Ethan. You deserve to know the truth." Michael left Emily's house in a daze, his mind racing. His love for Ethan had always been unconditional, but now a seed of doubt was planted, growing with every passing second. He drove straight to a clinic and, without hesitation, requested a paternity test. He needed answers, no matter how painful they might be. A week later, Michael received the results. He stared at the envelope, his hands trembling. Slowly, he tore it open, each rip echoing his dread. The words confirmed his worst fears. He was not Ethan's biological father. The realization was like a punch to the gut. His world, carefully built over the years, was crumbling. How could this be? How could Sophia have betrayed him in such a profound way? That night, after Ethan had fallen asleep, Michael confronted Sophia. She sat on the couch, sensing something was wrong. "Who told you?" she demanded after Michael revealed what he knew. "That doesn't matter," he replied coldly. "What matters is the truth. You betrayed me, Sophia. You lied to me for 6 years. Sophia broke down, tears streaming down her face. "I was drunk, Michael. It was a mistake, a horrible mistake. I've regretted it every day since. But I swear to you, nothing has ever happened again. I've been faithful to you in every way." Michael's anger boiled over. "Faithful? Don't talk to me about faithfulness. You built this marriage on a lie, and now you expect me to just brush it off." As the argument escalated, Sophia made a desperate threat. She would fight for full custody of Ethan. Michael's response was sharp and immediate. "Fine. Take him. He's not my son. Keep the child, and I'll keep the dogs." Sophia gasped, her face pale with shock. "Michael, you're his father in every way that matters. You've been there for him since the day he was born." But Michael couldn't contain his fury any longer. "Don't you dare call me his father. You took that away from me the day you decided to lie. Take your bastard and leave." Sophia left that night, taking Ethan with her. For the first time in their marriage, Michael had raised his voice, and the weight of his anger left an indelible mark. She packed a bag and drove to her parents' house, leaving Michael alone in the home they once shared, a house gifted to him by his parents. The silence was deafening. Michael sat on the couch, staring at the empty space where Ethan's toys used to be. The pain was unbearable, a mix of betrayal, loss, and anger. He turned to his parents for solace. His father, a stoic man of principles, was firm in his stance. "You did the right thing, Michael. You can't raise a child that isn't yours. It's not fair to you." Michael nodded, though the pain lingered. His younger brother suggested he write about his feelings to process them. It was a small distraction, but nothing could truly fill the void. Michael began seeing a therapist 3 times a week. "You've taken the first step by removing yourself from the source of your pain," the therapist said. "Now it's time to focus on healing." The days turned into weeks, and Michael found himself grappling with conflicting emotions. He hated Sophia for her betrayal, but he also mourned the family he thought he had. Ethan's laughter, his small hands reaching for Michael's, those memories haunted him. He couldn't help but wonder if he was wrong to cut ties so completely. But his therapist reminded him, you can't heal while holding on to the things that broke you. Focus on yourself first. Emily reached out again, apologizing profusely for her role in the situation. I just couldn't live with the guilt anymore, she explained. I hope you can forgive me someday. Michael wasn't sure if forgiveness was possible. Not for Emily and certainly not for Sophia. But he knew he had to keep moving forward. The divorce proceedings were straightforward. Michael and Sophia had always kept their finances and properties separate. Sophia initially demanded child support, but Michael's lawyer presented the paternity test as evidence. The court sided with him, and Sophia withdrew her claim. As the legal issues were resolved, Michael focused on rebuilding his life. He spent more time with his dogs, took up new hobbies, and leaned on his family for support. The pain didn't disappear overnight, but each day brought a little more clarity. He realized that while his family had been shattered, he still had a chance to create a new life for himself, one built on honesty and trust. Months later, Michael stood in his backyard, watching his dogs play under the setting sun. The scars of betrayal remained, but they no longer defined him. He had learned a painful truth. Not all endings are happy, but they can lead to new beginnings. And sometimes, walking away is the bravest thing a person can do. In time, Michael hoped he could find peace, and perhaps one day love again. But for now, he was content to heal one step at a time.